Well, welcome everybody. We are here for an unboxing of an Ixalan booster box. I'm very excited. Haven't actually cracked a box of this yet. It's probably going to be the only box I get, so I kind of wanted to do it big a little bit. Also wanted to say before we get started, if you haven't already done it, go ahead and check out our podcast. It's at the Win Condition. You can find us on MTGcast. You can find us on Shout Engine. You can find us on iTunes. We go up on SoundCloud as well. So if you're into Magic podcasts, and we're actually going to try to get a YouTube channel going pretty soon. Hopefully this video makes it on there. But go ahead and check us out. That's the Win Condition podcast. And also, we are brought to you by Flipside Gaming. If you head over to flipsidegaming.com and you plug in an order of $10 or more and you use the promo code WINCONDITION in all caps, you can get your product at a 10% off discount, which actually helps us contribute to future show giveaways. We like to do a giveaway every once in a while. We gave it away an Invocation Kefnet on our 20th episode. So, yeah, just hanging out, talking about Magic, nothing too serious. So, without further ado, let's get into this unboxing here. So, I actually didn't get a box of Hour of Devastation. I just decided to get singles. And, I was like, well, it's probably not going to be anything too worth it over at in the Hour of Devastation. But, lo and behold, that Scarab God, man, $40. I don't know if you guys know, Scarab God is $40. Chandra also nearing, if not above, $40 herself. So there's definitely a lot of expensive cards out there. And of course, for Ixalan, you've got that Carnage Tyrant. And if we pull a Carnage Tyrant today, that would be pretty insane. I know every box has a foil rare. Can't wait to see what we get in that one. So let's see what we got here. All right, pack number 1. I do like to separate out by color, but we'll just skip ahead to the commons so we get to the good stuff here. All right, so commons will go there. We've got a Trove of Temptation. This is the first time I'm seeing a lot of these cards too, so bear with me if I don't exactly know what they do. We've got Stormfleet Spy, an Atzakan Archer, and a Search for Azcanta. I'm very excited about this card. So at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. Then, if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform Search for Azcanta. And it transforms into Azcanta the Sunken Ruin. Tap, add a blue. Tap 2 and a blue. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them. Put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So that's pretty sweet. 2 mana for a legendary enchantment. I like it. That's pretty baller right there. Good start. Good start. Make sure we got everything situated so y'all can see. If you have any questions or you need to see anything, need clarification, feel free to type into the chat section. I'm more than happy to interact with you guys. Love interacting with the audience. So, yep. Let's keep cracking. All right. Commons to the side. Okay. Ooh. I already caught a glimpse of the first uncommon. Vicious Conquistador. So if you watched any of the SCG coverage this last weekend, there was a mono black aggro deck that I was extremely excited to see. It ran Vicious Conquistadors as well as, it actually wasn't zombies, obviously with Eldritch Moon and Shadows rotating. You're not going to get that zombie powerhouse that you usually get. So a lot of pirates, but a mono black, and it was running that like wannabe Dark Confidant from the new set too. Anyway, so very exciting deck. If you check it out, mono black aggro. Belligerent Brontodon, assign damage based on butts instead of power, which is cool. Glorifier of Dusk, and our second rare is Daring Saboteur. Cannot be blocked for 1 and a blue. You get a 2/1, 2 and a blue. Daring Saboteur can't be blocked this turn. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card, so it loots. So it's a Daring Saboteur Looter. Alright, so 2 blue rares so far. Pretty good. We're going to continue down the right column here. And if you're into box mapping, I know I got a couple buddies who are into box mapping, I'll keep these separate. So We'll have the top pack that I opened is going to be back here, and then as we get deeper, we'll go like that. So you know, if you go buy a booster, loose boosters, you know where to pull from in the box. So, all right, let's move the commons aside. Let's get on with this here. All right, we've got another Trove of Temptation. We've got a Lurking Chupacabra. We've got Deadeye Quartermaster. And I'm excited about this. We get a Kapala, Warden of Waves. Spells your opponents cast that target a merfolk you control cost 2 more to cast. Abilities your opponents activate that target merfolk you control cost 2 more to activate. 3 mana merfolk. Is it going to see play in Modern? Who knows? It seems like a pretty dang good merfolk commander. If you want to run that, mono blue, probably has some legs there. If I've heard merfolk's going to be pretty heavy in the next set. The one, what is it, Rivals of Ixalan? Or Explorers of Ixalan, I should say. So maybe with the merfolk there, he sees a little bit more run, but at the meantime, not too bad. Foil, Brazen Buccaneers. So, you know, common foil jank, we like that. All right, next pack we've got going on here. All right, commons over here. Make sure we get all the good stuff. Okay. All right, so uncommons. We have a Lightning Rig Crew. We have a Wild Growth Walker. We've got a Thundering Spineback. And we have Old Growth Dryads. When Old Growth Dryads enters the battlefield, each opponent may search his or her library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. 1-drop, 3/3, green creature card. That land, though, that makes it pretty dumb. For your opponents, you know. So I mean, how much value you're actually getting from a 3/3 body? That's pretty vanilla. I mean, Wild Nacatl's pretty good, but that's not getting your opponents any lands or anything. And then a foil Air Elemental, not bad at all for the oldies but goodies in the crowd. Air Elemental was pretty boss back in the day. All right. Continuing on here, get them commons over here. Perfect. Okay. We've got a Wily Goblin. What is that? 2 red for a 1/1 when it enters battlefield. Create a colorless treasure artifact creature token. What's that? Okay. Not bad. Not bad. 2 red for a 1/1, but you get a little bonus there. A Vine Shaper Mystic. You have Ranging Raptors. And the big meteor itself. Star of Extinction. Destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. For 7 mana, that's a pretty decent red board wipe right there. And you're taking out your opponent's probably legendary land. Obviously in Commander, it's good to see some good play, but there's a lot of good legendary lands that are flipping. Star of Extinction, hefty cost, so you'd have to have some sort of a ramp deck. I'm thinking maybe green-red dinosaurs if that becomes a thing. But anyway, Star of Extinction, not too bad there. All right, continuing down the right column. We've got our commons over here. Good stuff. All right, we have a Steadfast Armasaur, a Raging Sword Tooth. What does that do? When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each other creature. It's a 5/5 for 5 trample. Not bad. Sounds pretty legit. If you could give it Death Touch as it enters the battlefield, that'd be pretty bonkers. Like if you had an equipment that's like, attach it to something when it enters the battlefield, attach it to Raging Sword Tooth, 1 damage to each other creature, they'll die. Because it has Death Touch. I guess you could respond by putting instant speed Death Touch on. Anyway, moving on. Raptor Hatchling. Awesome. 1/1 for 1 and a red. Oh yeah, that's right. She's here. Vraska the Relic Seeker. Or Vraska, however you want to put it. So 4, a green, and a black for a 6 loyalty planeswalker. Her +2, create a 2/2 black pirate creature token with menace. Her -3, destroy target artifact creature or enchantment. Create a colorless treasure artifact creature token with tap. Sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Target player's life total becomes 1 for the low cost of -10. Arr, she's a pirate. Pirate Vraska. Grr, scurvy. That's awesome. That's very awesome. I'm super excited about that. Let's see if we can get another Planeswalker in here too. It's a good start. That left column though. Left column search for Azcanta and Vraska. Not bad. Alright, move them commons. Sheltering Light. Merfolk Branchwalker. Charging Monstrosaur. And Captain Lannery Storm. It almost sounds like a Game of Thrones character, if you ask me. Captain Lannery Storm. 2/2 haste. Whenever she attacks, create a colorless treasure artifact creature token with tap sack. Okay, so she attacks, she gets you treasure. Whenever you sack treasure, she gets +1/+0 till end of turn. I want to run her with Spell Swindle. That would be really fun. You know? Combat tricks for days. Okay, so not bad so far. Keeping on here. All right. Commons. Ooh, good. Definitely wanted a couple of these. Siren Storm Tamer. You got that counter spell. Not on a stick. It's on a body, okay? On a stick means it's on an Isochron Scepter. Everyone's like, oh, Crucible of Worlds on a stick. It's not a stick. For God's sake. Sorry. Salty much. Raider's Wake. Seeker's Squire. A Rampaging Ferocidon is our rare here. 3 mana for a 3/3 menace. Players can't gain life. It's pretty strong. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Okay, cool. Seems like a pretty powerful card here. Definitely could be a player in that green-red Dinos deck if that ever actually comes to fruition. All right. How are we looking here? It still looks pretty good. Okay, awesome. Get those commons pushed over here. All right. Inspiring Cleric. That's the artwork I saw on Daily MTG that I was like, that's super sweet artwork. I wonder what it's for. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life for 3 mana. We have a lot of 1-drop gain 3 life. Seems like better value, but still 4 life is nothing to sneeze at. There's a big gap between 4 and 3 and how important that divination of life total is. Or division, I should say, of life total. Hey, another Siren Stormcaller. There we go. And a Bonded Horncrest right there. Ooh, this is a good one. We got a Ripjaw Raptor. 2 green for 4/5. Enrage. Whenever it's dealt damage, you draw a card. It's a good card. I was really looking forward to getting one of those too. So, hey, everybody swipe left. That left column is doing really well so far. We got a Vraska, we got a Ripjaw Raptor, and we got a Search for Azcanta. And we haven't even seen our foil rare yet. We're not even a third of the way through the box, so this is looking really good. I'm having fun. Are you having fun? It's Monday night. How could you not be having fun watching a box opening? Okay. Commons. Moving them aside. Grim Captain's Call. That just sounds interesting. Remove a pirate card from your graveyard to your hand, then do the same for Vampire Dinosaur. What? 4-color multi-tribal deck going against everything this set is about. This card seems good. Imperial Aerosaur. Bishop of the Bloodstained. And we just mentioned it. Super sweet. Spell Swindle. Yes! I'll counter your 5-drop combat trick and then sacrifice those 5 to provide 5 mana and give my Captain Lannery Storm +5/+0 till end of turn. That's pretty sweet. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. This is a good set. Good box so far too. We'll see about where this takes us. Okay, moving those commons right aside. Get into the good stuff. Raider's Wake. Dark Nourishment. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life for 5 mana. I don't know. What do you think of this? Is this like a player? Blue-black control could be a thing. And 5 mana. I know it's an instant, so you can wait to play it till your opponent's set, and it gains you life. Control decks can kind of benefit by gaining life. Blue-black control doesn't have many ways of gaining life. Here we go. Unclaimed Territory. Very, very sweet. Wait, what? Okay, this is a first. There's a foil, but it is before the rare. Prosperous Pirates is our foil. That's very odd. I actually opened up a bundle. I was about to say Fat Pack before this. A couple of the cards were upside down. I don't know if that's happened to anybody else, but the packaging has already shown a little bit of variance, which leads me to believe that there may be some boxes out there that have some ridiculous stuff in them. But either way, so we have the foil first, and then we have Treasure Map, which is tap 1, tap it, scry 1, put a landmark counter on Treasure Map. Then if there are 3 or more landmark counters on it, remove those counters, transform Treasure Map, and create 3 colorless treasure artifact tokens with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana mini, and you flip it into Treasure Cove. Tap, add a colorless, tap, sacrifice a treasure, draw a card. Okay, so going back to Lannery Storm here, I just want to call him Lannister Storm. Yeah, when you sacrifice a treasure. So you could do it for either the Treasure Cove to draw a card or sacrifice it for its mana ability as well. Either way, when you're sacrificing treasure, she gets bigger. So, seems pretty darn good. And I completely ruined the stack over here. Pardon me, my OCD while I get this back in line. Okay, there we go. So we got another foil common here. And then we have our Treasure Map. Okay, this column's getting a little thick here. Thick. We have one more pack. One more pack in this column. Doing this column some justice. Alright. Commons to the side. Vehicles. Bro. Vehicles are back. Like, who saw that coming? Okay? First of all, there's dinosaurs, pirates, vampires, and merfolk. Like, that's already sweet, but vehicles coming back. We've got a sleek schooner. Okay, I'm running out of places where I can put this. Makeshift munitions. Sacrifice an artifact or creature deals 1 to... Okay, so Goblin Bombardment, sort of ish. A River Sneak. Not a snack, but a River Sneak. And then we have a Verdant Sun's Avatar. Whenever Verdant Sun's... 5 and 2 green. Whenever Verdant Sun's Avatar, another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Okay, so along with that other one that deals damage in the form of butts, I mean, butts matter, you know, like, big time. Maybe that's even a draft deck, because, I mean, we're talking uncommons here at some of these, so, okay, there we go. That seems a little bit better. All right, so there's our first column, okay? Already got some good stuff, and we're just going to keep sallying forth through this box, see what else we can get. All right, column number 2, column number 2. Not going to do it anymore. All right, we have Verdant Rebirth, Rallying Roar, a Savage Stomp, and a Fell Flagship. Pirates you control get +1/+0. Whenever Fell Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Whenever Fell... Okay, Crew 3. 3 mana for a 3/3 Crew 3. Seems a little bit pricey. Not 100% sure if that's actually playable. Maybe we're dreaming hard here. Maybe in the next set we would see something that might reduce a crew cost. That would be pretty cool, because like if you were to have that be like a Crew 1, that would be pretty sick. I mean, okay, so Smuggler's Copter, obviously it flew, it had a crew cost of 1, and it let you loot. If this were still at a 3 cost, but a 3/3, it doesn't fly, but if it were a Crew 1, that could actually see some run. The pirate buff, it's okay, but I mean, it's not like it's game breaking or anything. All the pirate decks that I've seen run uncovered so far, they're not really that based on increasing the power of the pirates that much. Okay, Kumena's Speaker, Rallying Roar, Deadeye Plunderers. Where's my multicolored section? My lands are getting buried here. I'll put that up there. And then we have Dragon Skull Summit. And we have a bit of flavor here. I don't know if you're following the story, but the it's a land that will provide a red or a black as long as you control a mountain or a swamp. But if you read the flavor text and if you follow the story, it says, when the planeswalker Angarth called dinosaurs dragons, the name stuck in certain pirate circles. So Angarth is a planeswalker. We have Vraska, we have Jace, we already know they're on Ixalan. But Angarth, while he hasn't been directly referred to as a planeswalker, he's said that he is like Huatli, who is also, that's right, Huatli is another planeswalker too. So Angarth probably going to be coming out in this next set, which is exciting because he seems like a very strong character. So yeah, Dragon Skull Summit, always good. We got all the ones from the previous M sets, and I'm like, when are we ever going to get to use these again? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. All right. Here we go. Perilous Voyage. Otepic Huntmaster. Dark Nourishment. And a Fathom Fleet Captain. For 1 and a black, you get a 2/1 menace. Whenever Fathom Fleet Captain attacks, if you control another non-token pirate, you may pay 2. If you do, put a 2/2 black pirate creature token with menace. Create a 2/2 black pirate. Have to stop saying put it on the battlefield. New verbiage. It's okay. When it attacks, you get to put a token out if you pay. It's not terrible. I mean, both of them are going to have menace. Aggro definitely uses this. And with a lot of extra cheap black removal spells, you could make a pretty solid black aggro deck, black X aggro deck. I know blue-black pirates, Grixis pirates is a thing, but you know, it's good. Menace is very, very underrated in my opinion, unless you know you play with it a lot, then you realize just how good it is. So definitely a fan of the menace. Okay, Steadfast Armasaur, Shapers of Nature. What is this? Tap 3, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, remove it. Okay, that's a lot to put counters and draw cards, but it's there. Fiery Cannonade deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. Okay. Mavrin Fane, Dusk Apostle, legendary vampire cleric, 2/2. Whenever 1 or more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. I'm curious to see if anybody can run this alongside like Oketra's Monument in an improved Oketra's Monument deck where you're running mostly vampires, but with Monument producing tokens and Mavrin Fiend producing tokens. That could get out of hand relatively easily, but unfortunately both the Monument and Mavrin are legendary, which does kind of put a hindrance on that. But it's always better to run 8 of a card if the deck's based around it than it is to only run 4. And I know the Oketra's Monument decks only really work when you have the Monument out, so why not, you know, try to throw something else its way and make it happen. You know, just add gas to your game plan there. So Mavrin Fiend, very interesting. Let's continue here. All right. Let's get those dirty commons out of here. I can't wait to see how many opts I have. I'm very excited about opt. Favorable Winds, good. Throwback from Innistrad, excellent. Kite Sail Foot Booter, because you put boots on your feet. Whenever Kite Sail Boot Footer in the battlefield, target opponent reveals here, you choose non-trigger, non exile that card until it leaves the battlefield. Okay, all right, so like a brain maggot, sort of. Sorry, I'm all about parallels here. Adonto Vanguard, okay, and then Shadowed Caravel. Whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on Shadowed Caravel with a crew 2. Okay, crew cost is a little cheaper, a little smaller, but it gets bigger if you are doing all that exploring, and it's a ship, so it makes all the flavor sense in the world. Not bad. All right, let's get to something exciting. We all want to see good stuff. Okay. Oh, there it is again. Favorable Winds, Kite Sail Foot Booter. Deathless Ancient. Oh my gosh. I got one. Growing Rites of Itlimoc. Oh man, have I wanted one of these since I saw it spoiled. It's actually not falling in price per se, but it's definitely lower than it was. Probably around like 14, 12, 14 bucks, something like that. But anyway, sorry. Growing Rites of Itlimoc says whenever it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform Growing Rites of Itlimoc into Gaia's Cradle. Just kidding. Itlimoc, Cradle of the Sun. Check it out. Tap add a green to your mana. Add a red. Tap add a green to your mana pool. Tap add a green to your mana pool for each creature you control. Yes, kids. Each creature you control. Not that you'd want to run this in that Oketra's Monument deck, but if you did, you could make a lot of mana. That'd be sweet. Okay, so we all of a sudden have the middle row representing here. Not bad. Is that I have the worst time telling whether the color is a mythic or a rare. But it looks like it's just a rare, which is pretty insane. So there is always the possibility to get 2 of them in here. And we haven't had our foil rare yet. Dusk Legion Dreadnought artifact, Bellowing Aegisaur, an Air Elemental, and an Arcane Adaptation. As Arcane Adaptation enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type, in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Okay, so if you want to reveal pirates from your hand, you can use this card to change things to pirates and then still reveal them from your hand without having to have them on the battlefield as fully fledged permanents. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. I like it. Good in ally deck. Good in an ally deck. Just saying. Although you already have allies everywhere, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're ditching these commons here. Get in the bin, you. We'll have an opt count after this. We'll just quickly breeze through and see how many opts we get. Another Dusk Legion Dreadnought. We got Ixalan's Binding. Let's see here. Pause. 3 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Ixalan Binding leaves the battlefield. Your opponent can't cast spells with the same name as the exiled card. Okay. Alright. So, I don't know if you guys saw, but there's a very big trend of, oh my gosh, why can't I think of a hostage taker? You know, if you use this on a hostage taker, I believe you get your guy back and they can't cast hostage takers anymore. So, secret sideboard tech against hostage taker right there. We have a Sky Terror. Okay, very exciting card right here. For 1 white and 1 red, you get a 2/2 Flying Menace. Very aggressive, low cost Boros creature. You Boros people are going to be happy, I think. And then, speaking of Boros, Takali Honor Guard. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. For 1 and a white, it's a 1/3. And the reason why I say that is because the reason I say the whole Boros aggro is this definitely shuts down things like Hostage Taker I was just talking about, and other creatures that will do those nasty enter the battlefield triggers. Easier to deal with than a Torpor Orb, but still a very, very powerful card. And then Spreading Rot as a foil. It's very pretty rot, if you will. So, more foil jank over here. All right, pressing on. We are over halfway done. We have a couple more packs in this center row before we hit the right, so to speak. And Spell Pierce. I just caught a glimpse. Spell Pierce. I'm so happy Spell Pierce is back in standard. Elaborate Fire Cannon. Rigging Runner, a 1-drop. What is this? 1 red for a 1/1 first strike. When there's a battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it if you attack with a creature this turn. Wow. Okay. Seems pretty solid. I like it. Another Deadeye Quartermaster. And we have a Sunpetal Grove. Another one of those lovely, lovely dual lands that says, enter the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest or a plains. So we do have the cycling lands still, which count as the different land types. So those work very well with those dual lands. The mana bases for standard can get pretty ridiculous now. So 3 and even 4 color decks, like that 4 color energy deck, freaking $40 Scarab God up in there, is very possible. So lots of plentiful mana for your mana base. Sleek Schooner, Makeshift Munitions, Stormfleet Spy. Another one I was excited to get, Shaper's Sanctuary. 1 green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. It's like Leovold's, one of his more important abilities. Obviously not drawing cards is important too, but for 1 green, seems like a very, very good card, both in Modern, probably in a spell or ability, also in Standard. Kind of helps you out with the whole Hostage Taker situation. Again, you're going to see a lot of that card, that Hostage Taker. So good to know how to handle it when you're building your decks and sideboarding properly when you do. All right, 2 more left in the middle here. We have commons, into the bin with you. But hopefully there's opts. Vine Shaper Mystic, Savage Stomp, Marauding Looter, What the heck is this? Sword Point Diplomacy. There, so you can see that there. Reveal the top 3 cards of your library. For each of those cards, put that card into your hand unless an opponent pays 3 life. Then exile the rest. So this is potentially 9 life for 3 mana if they don't want you drawing any cards. Wow. I know Painful Truths was pretty powerful, but that damaged you, and this will damage your opponents. I like that. What do you think of Sword Point Diplomacy? Grixis Control wanted it to be a thing. This could definitely help you out here, especially in that black pirate aggro deck. You want to shut them down later, you got to refuel, and refill your hand. That'll make your opponent make a pretty nasty choice. Either way, it's going to be bad for him. You're drawing cards, or they're losing a lot of life. So, Sword Point Diplomacy seems pretty good. All right. Last one of the middle column here. A Wild Growth Walker. A Tempest Caller. Thundering Spineback. Here we go. Black Aggro Pirates. A Ruin Raider. For 1 black and 2, you get a 3/2 Orc Pirate with Raid at the beginning of your end step. If you attacked with a creature this turn, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost. So you're not going to want to reveal a Star of Extinction. If you do that, if you're playing with those in your same deck, like, what are you doing? But I mean, you reveal lands, and that's crazy, because obviously you didn't want to draw those lands on your draw step anyway, because you want to draw gas, and you don't lose life for that. So, you know, it's hit or miss, but you build the right deck around it. That card is powerful. Okay, all right. Speaking of cards that have low converted mana cost with high value, we have Wanted Scoundrels. This is interesting. For 1 and a black, you get a 4/3. When it dies, target opponent creates 2 colorless treasure artifact creature tokens. So you get a 4/3 for 2, which, again, in the right deck seems pretty darn powerful, but there's a lot of stuff that can do 3 damage, and that just seems like your opponent is getting a 2-for-1 deal out of it. They're killing your creature and they're getting mana back. It's tough. I don't know. I like it. Field of Ruin. I really like Field of Ruin. There's some talk about this in Ghost Quarter, but you get to, let me read it for you real quick. Tap add a colorless to your mana pool, tap 2 and tap it, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land opponent controls. Each player searches his or her library for a basic land card, puts it onto the battlefield, and shuffles his or her library. So it replaces itself, which is great. If your opponent's not running any basics, it's even better, because then they don't get to get one. But it's good. You have to tap 2 and tap it, so it's a little bit more costly, but, you know, it's very powerful. Another Unclaimed Territory, very good. I don't think I read what that did before, but Unclaimed Territory, you can tap for a colorless, or you can tap for any color of the chosen creature type when it enters battlefield. No Cavernous Souls, because it's not countered, but still really, really good. A very good budget option if you can't run Cavernous Souls. And a Deadeye Tracker. Okay, Black Pirate Aggro. I'm probably going to have to go with this deck here. 1 black for a 1/1. Pirate, tap 1 and a black, tap, exile 2 cards from an opponent's graveyard. Deadeye Tracker Explores, which means you reveal the top card of your library, put that card in your hand if it's a land, otherwise put a 1/1 counter on that creature, then put that card back, or put it into your graveyard. So if it's a card you don't want, it's not a land, you can put it in your graveyard. Hey, feed that God Pharaoh's gift, you know? Maybe you want to, I don't know, anything involving a graveyard, maybe dredge, maybe anything. But I mean, the 2 and tap, it's expensive and it's a 1-drop, so it's just everything you want to be doing with this card is when you don't want to be doing it. So it's kind of a catch-22. But anyway, all right, last column. Let's see what we have here. All right. Okay, commons right there. We have Perilous Voyage. We have Otepec Huntmaster, a Walk the Plank, a Revel in Riches. All right, so Revel in Riches is a 4 and a black enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a treasure artifact creature token. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasure counters, you win the game. So you counter that spell with Spell Swindle. You make some more treasure tokens with your Treasure Cove. and then you revel in riches, kill something, and you win the game. Great. Seems like a solid tier 1 deck to me. And then if you didn't know, Walk the Plank, another very iconic card in the set for black. Sorcery. Destroy target non-merfolk creature. Pretty premium removal, while merfolk isn't really a thing. You're probably going to see merfolk decks at F&M, but I didn't see too many at the SCG. But again, week 1, we don't know really what we're working with, so people kind of play with what they know, like Ramen Up Red, Teamer Energy, or 4-color Energy. Soul Tie Energy actually won it, which was sweet, because who doesn't want a Winding Constrictor with energy? Okay, Grim Captain's Call, Elaborate Fire Cannon, Imperial Aerosaur, and a Primal Amulet, another flip card. I love these flip cards. 4 mana for an artifact. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Primal Amulet. Then, if there are 4 or more charge counters on it, you may remove those counters and transform it into Primal Wellspring, which is a land. It says tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for that copy. Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's an artifact, so you can put it in whatever commander deck you want. You can copy whatever spell you want. It's no Pyromancer's Goggles, so it's not just red. So you can copy that. Well, you could already copy a Cruel Ultimatum with that, but you can copy some pretty sick stuff with that card. Very much so looking forward to playing that guy. All right. Moving on. Okay. Sentinel Totem. Right there. What does that do again? When it enters the battlefield, scry 1, exile all cry. Okay, that's right. Relic of Progenitus. Wannabe. Call to the Feast. Tempest Caller. Walker of the Wilds. So for green, and 2, tap X, tap 2 green, put X 1/1 counters on target land you control. That land becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land for 3/3. The dude from Zendikar, Battle for Zendikar, that merfolk that did the same thing. It's a shame that they're not the same color, so you have to run a Bant commander if you want to run them in your commander deck. But either way, pretty sweet if you're running this with Growing Rights of Itlimoc and you're doing some sort of a merfolky deck where you got a lot of stuff. You can make stuff pretty big. Seems like a lot of work to do for something, but still, you know, pretty decent if you're into that kind of stuff. If you like janky combo decks. Okay. What do you know? Another Sentinel Totem. We're removing all the graveyards. Emissary of Sunrise. A River Sneak. And we have a Fleet Swallower. Whenever Fleet Swallower attacks, target player puts the top half of his or her library rounded up into his or her graveyard. It is a fish. 7 mana for a 6/6. That's pretty beastly. Target player. So you could actually attack with this guy and take half your own library, put it in your graveyard. That could be pretty naughty if you're really into that kind of stuff. I mean, we all have our own little fetishes and interests, you know. Maybe putting your own library in your graveyard is one of those. And then we have a foil Pounce. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Instant speed fighting for 2 mana. Pretty darn good. This may be better than Walk the Plank in certain decks. Obviously, instant, you know, trumps sorcery in a lot of cases. But if you're running like 4 of these and 4 Ripjaw Raptors, you're drawing all the cards, you're killing all the creatures. Like, that just seems really, really good. So, yeah, run Pounce and run Ripjaw Raptor and get it done, man. Or woman. Just get it done. Alright. More of these commons. God, I'm going to go through a lot of these commons here. Another Wily Goblin. Very good. Emergent Growth. A Snapping Sailback. And a very interesting card here. We have Tillanali's Skin Shifter. For 2 and a red, you get a 0/1 creature, human shaman, with haste. It's a human. I didn't notice that. It has haste. Whenever it attacks, it becomes a copy of another target non-legendary attacking creature until end of turn. Okay, yeah, so there's plenty of things that you can do with this copy. Ripjaw Raptor, why not? plenty of creatures that you can make copies of that will definitely benefit you in terms of combat. Kind of combat trick, but you do have to make that decision before all those, spells get responded to and all that good stuff. So for 3 mana, not too bad. It could see some play. Alright, we have Stormfleet Arsonist, Emergent Growth, Chart a Course, and Angrath's Marauders. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Okay, notable here, it says player, not opponent. So if you're deciding to deal some damage to your Ripjaw Raptor under your own accord, like let's say you're like, oh, I'm just going to lightning strike my Ripjaw Raptor. Well, if these guys are out, your Ripjaw Raptor is going to die. So be mindful of that when you're trying to do some shenanigans. Other than that, like this, along with like your Carnage Tyrant, seems like just naughty, dirty stuff that nightmares are made of. So. It's a fun card, definitely a fun card. Obviously, we'll see some play in Commander, but yeah, we'll just have to build something fun. All right, we've got Verdant Rebirth, Drover of the Mighty. Speaking of, Lightning Strike, and Dire Fleet Ravager. So he is an Orc Pirate Wizard for 3 and 2 black. 4/4 Menace Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, each player, not opponent, each player loses a third of his or her life rounded up. Now, that's pretty savage. That's pretty mean. Yeah. We won't even need to go there. A lot of red-black shenanigans. A lot of red-black cards will deal in life loss, like ruthless, unforgiving life loss. So have fun with that one. We got another Kimena's Speaker. We got an Atzocan Archer. We've got Deadeye Plunderers. And, oh good, I got one. Settle the Wreckage. We have 2 and 2 white. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards, put those cards onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle his or her library. Again, definitely good on defense. Saw it in a blue-white approach deck. Do some decent work, but remember, if you're giving your opponent tons of land, there's probably a chance they're going to drop not 1 but 2 fatties on you the next turn, and just be ready to deal with those when you drop this. Obviously, you can play one after the other, but I just hate giving opponents tons and tons of land because that means they get to do whatever they want with their deck, and usually that's something that's pretty nasty. So take care when you're settling your wreckage. All right, we have a white 1-drop. Imperial Lancer has double strike as long as you control a dinosaur. Pretty good. Lookout's Dispersal, Fiery Cannonade, a Glacial Fortress, which is a dual land for white and blue, enters tapped unless you control an island or plains. Very good. Good for control decks. That might be the pricey one of this set moving forward. A foil, Ixalan's Binding. Just for flavor purposes and this being story card 1 of 5, I like this card, and I like this card in foil. It looks pretty darn shiny. Let me hold it up so maybe you can get a good look at that. Yeah, super shiny. Okay, awesome. And an uncommon. Okay, so we have 2 packs left. I haven't gotten a foil rare yet. Interesting. There have been these errors that I've been noticing with the packaging. So hopefully that didn't go the whole way through. But anyway, this is backwards. Okay, let's get the rares. Sorry, commons over there. Okay, another Imperial Lancer, Stormfleet Aerialist, an Otepic Huntmaster, and a Deep Root Champion. One in a green. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Deep Root Champion. Again, it seems good. It's not necessarily what you want when you want it, because who's playing a 1/1 for 2, and then, I mean, it's green, so are you playing Sultai, where you're killing stuff, drawing cards, buffing them up, trying to protect him, countering stuff? I mean, Spell Pierce, as well as there's that red that deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 creatures. you know, it's okay. It's good. Definitely could see some more play if Merfolk become more of a thing. All right, so here we go. The last pack. If there is not a foil rare in this pack, I will be mildly disappointed. So, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Doesn't look like there's one. We have Heartless Pillage, Lurking Chupacabra, Bright Reprisal, and Argel's Bloodfast. It is 1 and a black, legendary enchantment. 1 and a black, pay 2 life, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform Argel's Bloodfast into Temple of Aklazatz. You can tap and add a black to your mana pool, tap, sacrifice a creature, you gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. So, I mean, we're talking about butts matter. You know, this could definitely help you out in that category. Interesting. Interesting. So no foil rares. Again, the foils were Ixalan's Binding at uncommon. We have Pounce at common, Spreading Rot at common, Prosperous Pirates at common, Air Elemental at uncommon, and Brazen Buccaneers at common. So, just for science, I'm going to quickly, I say quickly, pick the rest of these up. And we're going to dive through this big stack as quickly as possible here and see if we were missing anything. Because with the packaging the way it's been so far, I wouldn't be surprised if something got caught up in the mix. So, let's see. Alright, so we'll just set those back in there. First, let's run through these. I'm very happy with the box. It's just very weird for me to not see that. You know what? This is actually going to take a lot longer than I thought, so I'll save that for the end. But in the meantime, let's recap what we got here. And again, these are all in columns. So for the left column, starting at the top and working our way down, we got Revel in Riches, which is a rare. Primal Amulet, rare. Walker of the Wilds, rare. Fleet Swallower, rare. The Skin Shifter, rare. Angrass Marauders, rare. Direfleet Ravager, rare. Settle the Wreckage, rare. Glacial Fortress, rare. Deep Root Champion, rare. Arkel's Bloodfast, rare. And if I'm not getting any of these right and I can't see the colors the right way, I apologize, but I do have a problem with that usually. Fell Flagship, rare. Dragon Skull Summit, rare. Fathom Fleet Captain, rare. Maverin is rare. Shadowed Caravel, rare. Oh my gosh, my Growing Rights is a foil. No, I'm just kidding. I wish. Yep, Growing Rights is a rare. Then we have Arcane Adaptation. It's a rare. Takali Honor Guard, rare. Sword Point Diplomacy is a rare, and so is Rune Raider and Deadeye Tracker. And over here we have Search for Azcanta, rare. Daring Saboteur, rare. Kapala, Warden of Waves. Old Growth Dryads. Star of Extinction. Okay, that's a mythic. That I can tell is a mythic. Vraska is a mythic. Captain Lannery Storm. Rampaging Ferocidon. Nope. Ripjaw Raptor. Nope. Spell Swindle. Is that a mythic? Is Spell Swindle a flippin' mythic? You know, I really can't tell. Kind of looks like it though. And then Verdant Sun's Avatar is a mythic too. Okay, so there's 4 in there. Alright. So, that's it for the rares in this box. Now, if you want to stay and help me go through this, we'll see as I separate if we have missed anything important. I know we did have that rare, that foil that was in front of the rare. And then, like I said before, in the bundle that I opened, we had some upside down cards. So, I don't know. It's very, very, very weird. but interesting nonetheless. I mean, this is the Pirates Explorers set, so there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff to be seen. Oh, that's right, I was looking for opts too. I totally forgot about that. Okay, none yet. But anyway, yeah, and there was speculation that this could possibly be a set where they don't tell us everything, and they, since there's no masterpieces, they tuck some ridiculous cards in that nobody would be expecting. But obviously I don't know how feasible that really would be. It would definitely make drafting interesting, and playing some sealed if you end up pulling out some ridiculous cards that nobody even knew were part of the set. But Wizards does like to put cookies in a lot of the stuff they do, so the possibility, definitely can be talked about, but the validity of all that just does not seem like, you really have too much to stand on. So, just gonna keep going through these. Cobbled Wings, quick creature has flying, put that on a freaking Carnage Tyrant. I just have this thing where I'm imagining these humongous gargantuan dinosaurs flying around in these tiny little vehicles. But, anything's possible when you're dealing with Magic the Gathering. That's why we love this game so much, right? So, Siren Lookout. Okay, that was just that dude. I thought that was one of those 1/1s that you get to counter stuff that I missed, but not as such. Okay, it's looking like everything so far here is common. Have I just been missing opts? Is that an uncommon? I don't know. Is opt an uncommon, or is that a common? Not 100%. Oh, here we go. Opt. We got one. We got there, folks. Alright. I didn't miss any, did I? Dun, 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 dun. Spell Pierces. Definitely want them Spell Pierces. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. I swear, if I find something in here, I'm gonna flip out. But let's see here. Also, so anyway, I guess we could talk about in the meantime if any of you guys saw that SEG event. It was very interesting because yes, there's a Sultai energy deck running around now since Teamer Energy is kind of no longer a thing, but being able to put your snake in an energy deck, as well as having your Scarab Gods, like that just seems super powerful. Scarab God by itself is just a ridiculous Magic card that can do so much on its own, and especially when you're in the right deck, any kind of a control deck or something that's killing stuff, definitely would be really, really good. But, I don't know. I'd love to see some brand new decks come and show their face, because if there's one thing that Aetherworks Marble Saheeli combo taught us, it's you don't want to see the same deck over and 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 over again. You want to see some variation. Makes it a little bit more interesting. Makes deck building more interesting. So what I'm really hoping happens is with the elimination of Shadows over Innistrad, Eldritch Moon, and the Zendikar block, we actually get people using other cards that were initially not the best, but now can actually have their time in the sun, of which I can't think of any specific ones right now, but just want to see a little variation. When you turn on the coverage, you don't want to have to see mirror matches all the time of the best deck. I'm not a pro, and I know pros do like to see a little bit more consistency, I guess, in decks. But, you're going to have that time when that random deck that nobody saw coming comes out. Like in Modern, for example, when you had that Amulet Bloom deck. The cards were there for how long? And then someone finally decided to put it together, and it was just a house. So if you're doing that, and you're doing that in Standard, kudos to you. That's quite a feat, because Standard's obviously the most played, most accessible format. and as a result, it's probably the most talked about. So if you get people who talk about Standard to death, they're going to want to figure out eventually what the best deck is, and they'll play the best deck if they want to win. Now, obviously, you play with your friends, you play FNMs, you play casually. It's super fun to build those tribal decks. You know, I won't even say tier 2, but just decks that let you do what you want to do. So, and, you know, it's the pipe dream to take that deck where you build it, you know what you want to do with it, and you take it to a tournament and you kill it. So if that happens, it feels so good. I know for a while when I went to FNMs around the Theros block, I had my own little, another opt. I had my own little deck that I built. I think it was a red-green, it was either a Jund deck or something like that. But it was, no, it was Teamer. That's right, it was Teamer, because I was running that that double strike Hydra, the red-green double strike Hydra, I forget what it's called, and Ral Zarek. And then you could also run, oh my gosh, what was it? The god Xenagos, to just completely blow stuff up out of control. And I won, you know, a couple matches here and there. Definitely didn't take down the event, but still, it was very fun to bring my own creation and win a couple of games. So don't let it discourage you. If you lose a couple, we're at 3 opts, by the way. If you lose a couple, then just, you know, maybe take it home, maybe tweak a little bit. Maybe you just had the wrong matchup, you know, because if you play against 2 different decks, you're going to have 2 different results regardless. But, you know, it just takes time, takes practice. You know, net decking is fun, but it's even more fun to be the one that comes up with that deck that's shared on the net. So, the net, not the intranet, but the net. So, all right, well, it looks like we're nearing the end here. Ooh, a little bit of a miscut, Unknown Shores, but definitely does not seem like we are going to get our foil rare in this box. But, fear not, my friends. We have Growing Rights of Itlamok, we have Braska, we've got the Search for Escanto, we've got a bunch of other really cool flip cards that I was very excited about getting. So we are going to take this and we are going to build Opt, playset of 4 Opts. Boom. There you go. Drop the mic, hold it up for all to see. Look at that. Look at all them Opts. I can have my playset. I'm very excited. Grixis Control, here I come. No, I'm just kidding. Or Blue-Black Control, who knows. Alright, well, if you stuck with it, thank you. And again, go and check out the Win Condition podcast. We'll be talking a little bit about this, probably recapping my box opening and any decks that I come up with in the meantime. Episodes will usually come out towards the end of the week, and even on the weekend sometimes. But other than that, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.